There we go. So before I talk about, why some women heal completely and others don't. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Toko and I am a transformation coach. I specialize in, healing recovery, especially abuse healing and recovery. I also deal with love, relationships. I love to talk about those things. So most welcome. I'm the founder of Woman Valor Coaching. This is the page where I'm streaming this live from. So most welcome. I really appreciate you being here. Please feel free to tag someone who needs to be here, okay? And before I proceed, I wanted to talk a little bit about the progression of, recovery from abuse. So there is a journey that you take, that everyone who has been through an abusive relationship, they have to go through in terms of their healing and recovery. And I want to talk about that because you will understand better why other people get stuck along the way and others go all the way until the end, until they experience real healing and real recovery. Okay, so the first stage or the first step to this is what we call victimhood. Okay, so personally, I don't like being called a victim, but really that word is out there. It's used in research and also just in the programming for dealing with women who have been in abusive relationships, domestic violence and stuff like that. But for me, I find the word very offensive and it's really unpleasant because it implies like someone passively having to something happening to them without their permission. And it also implies that you cannot fight back, you're powerless, you're helpless, you can't really speak, you don't have a voice, you don't even have a knowledge of what is happening in your life. And so when I hear about the word victim, that's what comes to my mind. I don't know you guys if you've ever used this word before, and I would really like to know, what do you feel about this word? Like, what comes to your mind when the word victim is spoken out there? What really comes to your mind? And if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, how do you feel when someone called you a victim? How did you feel? For me, I felt really offended because it's like I felt like someone is taking away my power. I felt like someone was looking at me as this helpless woman, as this woman who is always playing a pity party. But that is actually a stage out there. It's a stage through which women who have been through an abusive relationship goes through. And this stage of being a victim, really, when it applies to programming about women who have been in domestic violence situations, I think it just refers to a place where a woman needs help and a lot of support in their situation. Okay, so that is what a victim looks like. And then there is a survivor. And I think I'll spend a lot of time at this stage because this is the stage where a lot of women get stuck. This is a place I would call a place of comfort. This is a comfort zone for someone who has been through an abusive relationship. And I'll tell you the reason, okay? But if I have to explain about a survivor is someone who gets it, who gets the fact that, I've been abused, I've been taken advantage of, I've been used, misused, overused, whatever you want to call it. And they get it. And they also know that all that, whatever happened, it's not their fault. It's not your fault at all. you also get it that you have a part to play. So comparing to the victimhood, a survivor knows that, I'm not a victim, I'm not helpless, I can do something. And really, even at a victim stage, I know that a lot of women, even when they're in that middle of abuse and trauma and violence and all that, they're doing something about their situation, right? That's why I don't like using the word victim. But at this point, you are a survivor. You get it that, you have a part to play. And this is the place where a lot of women seek help. They have started talking about their situation to family, to friends. Maybe they are learning more about their situation and they're going around, on YouTube, searching, information to learn more, to increase their knowledge and to improve, right? They have reached a place of acceptance and to know that, whatever happened, happened. And they've let go. Maybe they've even gone to a place of, they've gone through the whole grieving cycle and they have forgiven, right? This is the place where if you are a survivor, you start looking help in terms of either counseling, therapy, coaching, and you also seek medical treatment because abuse puts you in a situation where you start even manifesting physically the trauma that you have been going through, right? You begin to be mindful of your emotions and basically, you take on the journey to healing. That's where a survivor is. Now, a lot of people, like I said, they end up in this stage. As long as the pain is gone, as long as the emotions have settled, as long as they've created boundaries with their abuser, as long as the court case is done, as long as the child custody issues are sorted, the child support is has been sorted or figured out, as long as they found the right treatment for their anxiety, stress, panic attacks, depression, whatever it is that they are experiencing physically, mentally, psychologically, even socially, as long as that is done, they have some peace in their life. They're like, what? This, when I look back to, where I was yesterday, this looks better, right? It's like, this looks better. This is far much better than what it used to be. And that's how they get stuck, because every time they look back to what it was, they're like, boy, I am good here. The abuse is no longer there. My abusive partner is no longer there. My children are with me. I've got the house that I deserve, and I've got a roof over my head. I'm able to fend for my kids, and work is going well, and all those things going. And so they settle in that stage. Okay, that sets in because often survivors, there is something that we call a survivor mindset, or a survivor mode. When you're in the survivor mode, it's like you just want the basics. You just need the basics. Let me remove the word want, because in that mode, it's like survival is what you need at that particular point. You are back on the on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You are at the bottom, like you just want something to keep you comfortable and to keep you going. And unfortunately, a lot of women, they settle in that phase. Okay, and this is where mediocrity sets in, and a lot of survivors in this stage of survival, they don't even see themselves beyond this status quo. So it's like they've accepted it. It's like they are no longer in an abusive relationship. Life is going on well. They're back on their feet. They've picked a job and everything is going well. And that ends it. But do you know what is missing up to this far? It's recovery. You can heal, but not recover. I want to repeat that because I want that to really set in. You can heal, but not fully recover. Have you seen women in your life who have been in abusive relationships before, and they are back on their feet, they're doing A, B, C, and D, and things are going on well, but maybe they are stuck with this prescription drug forever, that they are now and again falling in love with abusive partners, and you start wondering, you're like, what's going on in my life? I attract the same kind of people. Today I want you to know that some of those things happened because someone didn't heal completely. They did not recover. They are in the survival mode, and that's where they are trapped. Okay. Recovery, when we talk about recovery, it means the ability to return to normal functioning or beyond. Recovery means that after all you have been through, you bounce back into your normal functionality to the surprise of many people who have watched you go through what you went through. That's what recovery is all about. Healing is about, getting rid of the physical or the pain, the manifestations and all that, like the emotions. You are going through healing, yes, but recovery is going back to your feet, going back to how you used to function, or even better. And this is where you would like to take yourself to that, this is where you would like to take yourself to. You would like to take yourself to a level higher. You would like to create something amazing in your life after all is said and done. You would like to use your experiences to create something amazing and recognizable. I want to tell you a story. I I have this friend of mine who lives in Malawi, obviously. And I was just showing her my pictures, how my journey has evolved when I was a student, and then when I started work, and then when I got married, and then immediately when I got divorced, and then right now. She was so amazed. And she told me one thing that was really powerful. She said, Togo, you have evolved. And you know what? It is my experiences, the things that I went through, that has produced the woman that I am today. And I'm not ashamed to talk about that. I'm not ashamed to say that my experiences in that abusive, stinky relationship shaped the person I am today. Okay, when I look back, I'm like, wow, that was such a powerful journey. But I think the most important thing when you're going through that journey is you deciding to say, what do you want to do with this experience? Do you want to throw pity parties forever? Do you want to be that victim forever? Do you want to be looked upon as this woman who has suffered a lot, and every time you stand up and talk about your story, you want people to feel bad about you, or you want to encourage someone and empower someone to know that it's okay? When you go through that situation, you can decide to be something different because of that situation. And this is what I want to talk about today. That what I've just described is called thriving. Maya Angelou said that, surviving is important, but thriving is elegant. And I think that is so powerful. And so my question to you is, what does it take for thrivers to be who they are? Can you just tell me in the comment box there and say, what do you think is this one thing that thrivers do that the rest of the women who have been through an abusive relationship don't do? What is that one thing? What makes thrivers who they are? What does it make Togo to be a thriver? What sets her apart? Can you let me know? I'm watching the comments right now. I want to see if you have any comments. Hey Miriam. Hey Marita. Good to have you, girl. And oh my gosh, my friend Tandy is watching from Malawi. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, so Marita says transparency. I totally agree with that. Transparency. Yeah, that's a piece of it. That's very right, Marita. Thank you so much for sharing. One thing that I want to mention is that, thriving is about finding the meaning and the purpose in the suffering. And so, one of the things that thrivers do, and this applies to any situation, you've lost a loved one, you've been through a violent situation. I know women who have been through, a war situation or a war country, they escaped and, bounced back, and they're creating something amazing. It's having the sense of purpose in your life, because that is something that will make you to wake up every morning and tell yourself to do it again. You are taking your journey to a whole new level. You are rebranding yourself and creating something amazing. Okay. You are like, you get to a point whereby you're like, you know what? Okay, I'm surviving. I have everything that I need. I'm on my feet, but boy, I'm so done with this nonsense. I want to create something different. I want to rebrand myself to be unrecognizable. And I want to tell you that is where my journey began. Because I was like, boy, I'm so done with this stinky relationship. I am so done. I started pursuing something bigger than myself. I wanted to turn my pain into passion and purpose. And that is the reason why I get up every day, talk about these things, talk in my group, teach people, talk to people, jump on the phone with people, because I'm creating something bigger than myself, because my purpose is higher than my ego. My purpose is bigger than my feelings. My purpose is bigger than my family. And guess what? During this period, you have to know that when you decide that, you're gonna meet resistance. But if your sense of purpose is higher, you will get up every day to tell yourself to say, no matter the resistance, no matter what I feel, no matter how my situation looks like right now, I'm gonna get up and do it again. When you have that sense of purpose, you're not afraid to cut off toxic people in your life. I had to do it. I had to cut a lot of toxic people, because if you leave those toxic people in your life, they act as triggers. And so with your purpose, when you're pursuing purpose, you want to make sure that you're getting rid of anything that will pull you down. The relationships that are not serving you any longer, you cut them off. The people who are, just toxic naturally, you keep a distance, right? The things, even your behaviors, even your own behaviors, you have to leave them behind, because now you understand that you have a purpose. You're creating something amazing. You're creating something bigger than yourself. You're not afraid to share your story and to be vulnerable just to support that one girl out there. You're not afraid, to share what you did to get to where you are, just because you want to support or to help that one woman who is going through what you went through. You're not afraid to be your authentic self, because you're like, you know what? I am who I am, and whoever is around me has to deal with me. I'm here now. This is the new me. Okay? You want to start pursuing the goals that you have failed to pursue all the years that have passed. And you're creating. I know a lot of thrivers who now are bloggers, they write books, they're authors, they go on a world trip. Okay. They do all sorts of things in their community. They volunteer, they do all these things. That's the spirit of being a thriver. You're taking your survival mode to another whole new level. And one thing that thrivers do is to turn their pain into passion and purpose. Now I've told you the secret. Okay. When you are being a thriver, right? You, you are ready. You are ready. Actually, the world better be ready for you because you are unstoppable. At this point, you don't even care because you are pursuing something bigger than yourself. When your abuser come, right? When your abuser come and confront you and threaten you, because let me tell you, the story of abuse will not stop just because you're no longer with that person. A person who is abusive, manipulative, and toxic will still be toxic even if they are in jail. But when you have created a sense of purpose out of your pain, you will go on no matter what. You will challenge that. When people in your past come and remind you to say, ha, Togo, do you remember how you used to look, how you used to be fearful, how you used to be, scared, how you used to be non-confident, when you used to, curl down and curl up and just, be in your corner? Do you remember that? When those people come and remind you of your past, you still have a reason to say, you know what, that is my past. I'm a new creation. I'm a different person altogether. So deal with me. Purpose will give you a reason to go on even when you are triggered. Okay? Because you have to know that if you are in survival mode and when a trigger comes, you will be shattered. And it will take you time to rebuild again, to rebuild what you have been. I want to share your story. Marita says, this is where I believe I am, the recovery stage. Good. Girl, you have a journey to take, and I'm so glad that you realize where you are, and that is very important. I wanted to share a story of a trigger that recently happened, actually a week ago. My daughter came and showed me this. I don't know if you guys can really see it. I want to take it, closer to the camera. It's like a journal, right? Can you see this? Yeah, I think you can see. Yeah. So this is the journal. So my daughter, it's been 4 years, by the way, since I separated and then later on divorced with my ex. But my daughter came to me, and I was busy working in my office, and she comes and says, "Mom, this is for you." And the moment I saw it, I knew what it was. The moment I saw it, I knew what it was. And that was a trigger. You would never believe that for a good 2 hours, I was throwing a pity party. I cried just because of this little thing. But you know why? This is where me and my ex used to write, some of the things that we're going through in our relationship, the meetings, the many meetings, the midnight meetings that we used to have. And so that reminded me of my past. It was like a bitter moment. I had to go through my little pity party and, grieving and crying and, doing all sorts of things. If you don't have a sense of purpose, and my mistake was to go through it and just read it again. I think that was the worst. And this is the reason I always tell people, the woman that I teach, I coach, to say, get rid of everything that you think it's a trigger. For me, this is a lesson. I don't even know how this escaped me because I cleaned my house. God knows I cleaned my house. But this, I don't know where it was hiding. My daughter found it. I didn't even ask her where. But those are the things that when they come back to your life, if you don't have a sense of purpose, girl, you're done. I wake up every day and my inbox is full of people out there who don't even know my story, but they are cursing and throwing all these, unpleasant words to me to say, who do you want to become? Who do you think you are? Blah, 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 blah. You never measure up. You're feminist and blah, blah, blah. All sorts of insults. I have to tell myself that I'm pursuing something greater than these inserts. I'm pursuing something greater than my feelings right now. I'm pursuing something bigger than my situation. And that's what Thrivors do. Now I have told you the reason. Yes, Tandy says, don't keep triggers. Never, never. Don't be merciful. Don't be merciful with triggers because they can be destructive. And so I wanted to say finally here that one of the things that I have done in my life is creating a circle of women who have been through an abusive relationship. And those who know that they are on this journey and they are desiring to rebuild their life. They want to become thrivers and they don't want their journey to end at being survivors or victims. You don't want to be called a victim forever. You want to see progression in your life, and you want to see that you are moving from one level to the next. And so I would like to invite you to that group. It's an amazing space. And by the way, today on Thursday from 3 o'clock, we have a Thrivors Connect, which is like a Zoom meeting where we meet as Thrivers and connect at a personal level and talk about our issues and really like support one another. No competition, no judgment, just a safe space where we can share. And so if you are interested to join the group, but also to join the Thrivers Circle, I want you to put in the comment there and say yes, or tag that girlfriend whom you know that needs to be there. And I will be really grateful for that. So until next time, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate you. May God bless you. May God keep you. Until next time, bye-bye.